All right, time for topic number two. Topic number two, let's talk about the Book of Boba Fett, the first two episodes. Now, I'm a huge Star Wars fan that's been well documented. I love the Star Wars movies. Nothing will ever replace the original trilogy for me. But I'm also somebody who I'm a fan of the prequel series. I didn't hate the sequels. Go ahead. Throw your tomatoes at your phone or your tablet or your laptop or whatever you're watching this on right now. Go ahead and throw them, because I didn't hate the sequels. I didn't like the sequels that much. The Last Jedi, I feel, was the strongest of the sequels. Again, go ahead and get those tomatoes ready. But Rise of Skywalker was clearly the weakest one. Lots of missed opportunities in Rise of Skywalker. But I like Star Wars. To me, bad Star Wars is still a fun time. I guess I just choose to be a little more optimistic in my life. I don't know. But the Book of Boba Fett was something that I was obviously looking forward to. I think The Mandalorian is great. It's some of the best Star Wars that we've ever gotten, not just in the Disney era, but ever. The Mandalorian is phenomenal. And I was expecting the Book of Boba Fett to bring the same kind of energy, the same kind of wit, and kind of the same feel to it. And it has succeeded in some of those levels. It definitely has the same kind of feel that The Mandalorian has, the same kind of aesthetic. But unfortunately, it's not quite there yet on a storytelling level. And part of that reason, I think, is because they're trying to do too much. Now, granted, we're only 2 episodes in. As we progress in this series, we could definitely see that there was a logical order that they decided to tell everything in, and a logical means for doing that. But right now, I feel like they're trying to tackle a whole lot, and they don't necessarily have the time to tackle everything that they're trying to tackle, which I think a lot of Disney Plus series between Marvel and Star Wars, I think there's been several that have had that problem, Hawkeye being one in particular. But it's been good. Book of Boba Fett has been good, but it hasn't been to that level of Mandalorian yet. Now, I was always worried about making a Boba Fett movie or a Boba Fett show, because some of the intrigue of this character is not knowing much about him. You know, we saw him when he was a kid in Attack of the Clones, and that was fine. But in Empire, we didn't know much about him. All we knew is that he was the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy. And then we learned some about him in the extended universe. I'm on record saying that I think the extended universe, which is now referred to as Star Wars Legends, I think most of it's crappy fan fiction. I don't think most of it is that good. And what we're seeing Disney doing now is cherry picking the stuff that was good and leaving everything else in the trash heap of Legends, which that's fine to me. I don't have any kind of nostalgic tie to Legends like a lot of people do, because I grew up thinking, whoa, this is kind of bad. If it didn't have Timothy Zahn as the author, I thought it was pretty bad. And unfortunately, a lot of crap came out that was not written by Timothy Zahn. So for me, the idea of exploring who Boba Fett is, that kind of scared me. Kind of made me nervous. But what we're doing in the Book of Boba Fett is we're not going back to pre-Empire. So that pre-Empire time is still actually kind of left as a bit of a mystery. And I think that's smart. What they're doing is they're going post-Sarlacc pit. We saw him come out of the Sarlacc pit, and everybody's making this big thing out about the Parks and Recreation, Patton Oswalt predicting how it would happen, and then it actually happening that way. How else would it have happened? I mean, he's not a prophet, and he's not that influential of an actor. He just played in Reno 911, The Hunt for QAnon. I mean, he's sorry. Don't let me get off on a tangent. But we pick up after the Sarlacc pit, and we see him get picked up by these Tusken Raiders, and then we get kind of a Dances with Wolves type of story where he's living with the natives that we've always kind of looked at as being savages, and he's learned to respect their culture and kind of become one of them. And it's a great story. It's a story that we've seen in many different iterations. Even Avatar kind of told the same story, right? Unfortunately, I'm not as interested in that story as I am with him taking over Jabba's empire in Tatooine. And unfortunately, we're spending a lot more time with the Tusken Raiders. Now, my guess is, and I don't know this, but my guess is that as the series progresses, we're going to be spending a lot more time in the post Mandalorian era, where he's trying to rein in the power of what was Jabba's territory. So it has kind of demystified the character of Boba Fett for me a little bit, kind of like I figured it would. Brought some of the mystery out of the character. The idea of having a large sections of this without him even having his armor. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of good stuff here. It's just not happening. It's really drawn out. It almost feels like this was originally a script for a movie that they decided to make into a show, and because of that, they've got to draw parts of it out because it's not as fast-paced as The Mandalorian was, and for that reason, some of the wit and some of the excitement has been kind of lost because they're telling this slow story. Now, granted, it does have a slow story that has some emotion in it, and it has some. It gives us some time to ponder and reflect upon what it is that Boba Fett is accomplishing and who it is that he's becoming. But at the same time, it's still not as exciting as The Mandalorian was. So like I said, there's still, 5 episodes left? It's very possible that this is going to end up being my favorite Star Wars show yet. But it's not there yet. Right now, it is, if I were to rank these 2 Boba Fett shows, these 2 Boba Fett episodes so far against all the Mandalorian episodes, both these would be bottom tier episodes because they just haven't quite reached the energy that the Mandalorian has. Don't get me wrong, Boba Fett does not have to bring in legacy characters. Boba Fett does not have to bring in Harrison Ford or Kira or whoever else fans have been clamoring for. None of that has to happen. We don't have to have a Luke Skywalker cameo or something like that in Boba Fett. I just want some energy out of it. In The Mandalorian, we got to see Boba Fett be the galaxy far away's John Wick, and we haven't seen that yet. In fact, what we have seen is a Boba Fett that's gotten his butt kicked by everybody. The assassins, the Tusken Raiders. I mean, he's literally gotten his butt kicked by everybody that he's battled so far. So what I want to see is a Boba Fett who is the most feared person in the galaxy, not because he surrounds himself with people who can kick butt, but because he can kick butt. And if we get that kind of energy with that kind of definition on who Boba Fett is being realized, I think it's going to end up being a lot better. And I think it still has the potential of being a great show. I haven't loved the first 2 episodes, but I've liked them. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. So what did you guys think of the first 2 episodes of Boba Fett? Let me know, or the book of Boba Fett. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you think I'm off base, or if you think that maybe you agree with me a little bit. Let me know what you think, and I'd love to hear your comments. So let's move on to the next topic.